Hi, I'm Janis from JBMTHINKS Sports Parenting, coach's wife for 29 years and sports mom for 21. And today I'd like to talk to parents who are coaching their kids in a sport. First of all, you are making a great sacrifice of your time, and I truly hope that you are appreciated for all that you're doing. But I know that your job is not an easy one, because I know that when you coach your child, it is not possible to feel objective. Now, that's okay, because we're parents. We love our kids. We want the best for our kids. And you as a parent, even though you're coaching, unless you're cold-hearted, it is not possible for you to feel objective about your child. You want your child to succeed. You want the best for your child. You want your child to have fun and enjoy themselves. You want to set them up for a good season. You're not going to feel totally objective inside because you're that parent. Now, this does not mean that you cannot coach objectively. And let me explain to you what I mean. I believe that as a parent who is coaching their child, even though you will not feel objective, you can still coach objectively. But in order to do that, there's several things that need to happen. The first thing you need to do as a parent who's coaching their child, and if you want to coach objectively or coach fairly, you have to, first of all, acknowledge that you don't feel objective. Don't try to deny it. Don't try to say, "Oh, I don't feel any subjectivity. I'm fine." You know, don't fool yourself. You love your child. You want them to succeed. You want them to do well. Don't try to say to yourself that you feel absolutely no bias or anything towards them, because we know that that's just not true. Unless you're a cold-hearted parent, you're gonna feel biased towards your child. That's just normal. It's natural. And the first thing in a coaching objectively is to recognize this, is to admit it and say, okay, I'm not going to be able to feel totally objective as a coach. Okay, that's the first step. The second step, I'd say, would be to have a conversation with your child and just say, you know, I'm your mom or your dad, and sometimes it's hard for me to be totally objective and forget that when I'm coaching you. And I don't want to forget that I'm your mom or your dad, of course, but it's hard for me to sometimes not let that influence the way I coach. And so I really want you to help me. I need to work on this. I need to treat you the same as I treat other players, and help your child understand that when you're out there coaching, yes, you're mom or dad. You're never going to not be mom or dad, but you have your coach's hat on, and your job at that point is to look out for the whole team, not just for your child. In a sense, your child needs to understand that when you coach, you're kind of parenting the whole team, and you're there for the whole team. So that's the second thing that needs to happen. Let your child understand your role, and that they need to respect and listen to what you say as they would to any other coach. Not just say, oh, it's just dad, I don't have to listen, you know, or whatever. So second step is to have that conversation with your child. The third step, I would say, if you are coaching your child, it is a good idea to have another coach work with you, at least one or two coaches. Let that coach in on the decisions that surround your child. For instance, the lineup, the starting positions, the position choices, the playing time. Be sure that there's other coaches that are helping you make these decisions. First of all, they are going to be objective when it comes to your child, and you need to listen to them. If they don't agree with you, like, I don't think your kid should be doing that position, and here's why I think he would help the team better if he was over here, then listen to them. So have another one or two coaches that you will listen to, that you feel is objective about your child, and that can help you do what's best for the team. Now, another good reason that you need to have this as a coach is because there are going to be parents who are going to accuse you of favoritism. I don't care how objectively you coach, there are still going to be parents that will accuse you of favoritism. When this happens, you have the other coaches to back you up. And you can say, you know, we as a coaching team discussed this, and this is what we came up with. It was a decision as a team, as a coaching team. And they may say, oh yeah, right. they go to the other coach, and the other coach says, yes, we all agreed on this as coaches. It was not just his decision. So be sure that you have coaches that you're allowing their input into your decisions, and that you reach a decision that is best for the team together. So it's not just you, because again, you may want to coach objectively, and I believe you can coach objectively, but you're not going to feel objective. So that's why, in order to coach objectively, you need to get other people's input, other coaches' input. And fourthly, I would say that the temptation as a parent who coaches their child is to overcompensate. And I saw this with my own husband. He coached my daughter in softball, and he overcompensated. Sometimes he was harder on her, and then he backed off realizing what he was doing. So don't be harder on your child just because you're trying to show everyone that your child is not being favored. That hurts your child too. Your overall goal here, if you can keep this in mind, you will be able to coach objectively, and that is your job is to do what's best for the team, not for your own child. And sometimes that means letting someone else coach your child's position. When my husband was a football coach, he was the overall coach over a couple of the teams that my son was on, but he was not the offensive coordinator. My son was the quarterback. So my son was always under someone else, even though my husband was overall. And when he got to varsity, my husband wasn't even over him. My husband was over special teams and O-line, D-line. He didn't have anything to do with coaching my son as a quarterback. That was the best thing for their relationship. Even though that was still hard, it was better. So you can coach objectively as a parent. You're not going to feel objective, but you can coach objective if you follow these 4 things. Talk to your child about it. Get another coach in there with an opinion. Admit you're not being objective, and don't overcompensate and be harder on your child than you need to be. Thank you so much, parents who are coaching your kids, for the time and the sacrifice. Your kid appreciates it even if they don't say it. So I hope that you can go out there, and even if you don't feel objective, that you can coach objectively. Have a great week, and please remember to be part of the Positive Sports Parenting Tribe.